Hey there guys, Jaber here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the audio bend feature inside of Fender Studio Pro. This is an awesome tool in case you've got a situation where you've got a guitar or an instrument or vocals or whatever that might not be lining up to the grid or the tempo or the click track that you are looking for it to line up to into your song. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. You can see that I've got a clip here. One of the things that I primarily use this on is acoustic guitar. Believe it or not, this is a really handy method to fix strums or picking that isn't in time with the song. And so I've got a little demo here that illustrates that. You're going to notice some of the problems right away. Let's give it a listen. Got the click track playing with it. A couple obvious ones. Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to click on the track that you're going to work on. You're going to go up here to your toolbar, and what you want to do is you want to select the audio bend tool. That's going to open up a secondary set or a sub menu here of some options. And I'm going to show you two ways to do this today. There's an automatic way that I don't think works the best for acoustic guitar, especially if you're strumming. I like to do that manually, but I am going to just quickly go over how that works. So if I have my clip selected, and one other thing that I want to point out here is that I've got this clip just duplicated down here for reference so we can hear what changes are made to it after the fact. But jumping back, if we click on the track that we want to affect with the audio bend, we've got a detection method over here. We've got bend markers. We've got track, time stretching, and then we have quantize. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to analyze this. Now you're going to see that there's two options here, standard and sensitive. Typically I just leave this set on standard. You can see what this does is it detects where the transients are inside of the audio information and the wave format or the wave file there, or the wave form there, and it'll drop in these little bend markers here, or what are also known as time handles, that you can then pull and manipulate each one of these transients as you see fit. Now you can change this slider right here to either increase or decrease the threshold at which these bend markers are being applied. Sometimes less is more. That's always my recommendation with this. Too many of these and you try to quantize something and it's going to sound really, really weird, or you're going to have weird artifacts with it. You can hide those and go back to your just normal clip view. You want to make sure you can see that. You can remove those. You can restore to where you were at, whatever you want to do. Time stretching here. This is some different processing methods for how your waveform will be handled once you manipulate it with these time handles or the bend markers. Drums, as it implies, is usually something that's going to be pretty good for something percussive. It actually will work pretty good for this acoustic guitar example as well. Some of these others you might mess around with and try them for vocals. All of these are going to have a little bit different impact on your sound. I'm actually going to put this back on drums for now. That typically is what it is on default. So then grouping, you can actually come in here and you can create groups and use a track, a reference track is this, to guide placement of bend markers across multiple tracks of information or multiple tracks of audio if you wanted to. For this example, we're not going to worry about that right now. And then finally, you've got your quantize here. Now, if I go back here and I listen to this, you can see that this chord right there, that strum, is not lining up where it needs to be. That's one. And then let's see here. Let's start this again. Okay, you can see on that 4 right there that this transient is way off from that. So I could come in here and let's just see what this does. Let's quantize this to 100%. I'm going to apply. Now you're going to see that that moved some of the waveform around. Like I said, I typically find that just the automated way of doing this doesn't give me great results. You can see it moved it up to there. kind of moved things around, but I don't know if this is exactly where I want it. Now, one of the things that I do want to point out is that you're going to see this red and green. If it's red, that is going to mean that that event or that clip has been stretched out. If it's green, that means that it's been compressed. So just something to think about. Let's give this a listen with what it did automatically. Okay, it's not terrible. If I wanted to, I could come in here and I could go up to my toolbar and I could choose bend tool, and watch what I can do here. I can actually grab that and drag that bend marker forward to make sure that this transient lines up where I want it. Now let's listen to that. That actually sounded pretty good. So maybe don't listen to what I had to say about that not working. That actually worked pretty dang well. But down and dirty, quick and easy, that's the best way to do it automatically. But I told you that what I wanted to do was show you also how to do this manually, and sometimes I find that's a little bit cleaner, a little bit faster, especially if I'm looking to get surgical with how I am manipulating the timing of anything that I'm working on, any audio that I'm working on, because it's not applying those bend markers across the entire clip. Now, you can accomplish this a few different ways, but I'm going to show you the best way that works for me. So if I go ahead and I'm going to undo everything that I did here, and I'm going to go back to kind of the screen, the user interface that you're going to start with. We've got our clip here, our guitar clip. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to choose the bend tool. And what I'm going to do is then right click on the clip, and I'm going to check this box, bend marker. Now that turns it black, as you'll see, and that's important because this is going to show you, you can then basically get really surgical here and go in with this tool and drop bend markers on any location on the audio clip that you want to. So if we listen to this again, okay, we notice that it's this transient, this strum right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here right where I start to dig into that strum, and I'm going to drop a marker right at the beginning. Now, I could come in here and pull this, but that creates a problem. You're going to see that basically it compresses one whole side of my audio clip and then stretches the other side. That's not what we want. So we got to get a little bit more precise with this. So if I undo that, I'm going to go back and let's see. Okay, I can go to this next transient right here, and then I want to get another bend marker in front of that. So now what I've done is I've created 3 bend markers on here that are going to allow me to kind of push and pull that transient that's out of time without impacting every single portion of the audio on that clip. So if I go here to where the beginning of the problem transient is, I can now bring that whole thing forward, and you see it squishes that little green area down. But listen to what that did. Okay, it didn't get it quite where I want it, so let's do this. Let's bring another one in. We're going to drag that just a little bit further. Okay, that's a little too quick. Let's undo that. Bring that forward just a little bit. Okay, that is a perfect example. Now you can see that I had to set up 4 bend markers ultimately to get to where I want it to be, but that sounds clean. Let's listen to it from the beginning. Okay, now just as a reference, let's play it with the original track together, and you're going to hear how weird this sounds. So let's drop that volume down just a hair. Whoops, I guess I should unmute that. Okay, you can hear that gets a weird chorusy kind of effect there. And that's because these waveforms are now not lined up with each other. But if we listen to this independently, the reference track, the original track, you can clearly hear that that's out of time. Now, perfect. Okay, that is going to be it for this video. Like I said, 2 ways to do that using the audio bend tool inside of Fender Studio Pro 8. You've got the automatic way. That's going to be up here. You're going to choose the audio bend tool, and then you're going to go over here and manipulate those bend markers with just the bend tool. If you do the automatic way, you're going to click on that, open that sub menu, and you can choose all of those different parameters here. If you're going to do it manually, you can do that with the bend tool alone. So like I said, this is a great way to get your timing correct, line up vocals, line up guitar, drums. You can apply this to pretty much anything. So this was just a quick video today. I hope that this helps you out there. This is going to clean up your mix. This is going to clean up your audio. It can really take things to the next level. So if this video helped you out, make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And we're going to keep rocking and rolling and do little hints and tips and little videos like this that can hopefully, you know, really help knock your mixes out of the park and knock your productions out of the park. And yeah, take your skills to the next level. So anyway, thanks as always for watching, and until next time.